They told you no. They doubted you. They closed the door in your face. And in that moment, you had a choice to accept rejection as the end of your story or to use it as the very fuel that ignites your rise. Most people see rejection as defeat, but those who succeed, the inventors, the dreamers, the leaders, they understand that rejection is not a wall. It is a mirror reflecting who you are, what you believe, and how badly you are willing to fight for your vision. Rejection is not the enemy. Rejection is the test. And if you learn to master it, rejection becomes the very thing that transforms you from ordinary to unstoppable. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed more than 10,000 times in pursuit of the electric light. Every rejection of his idea was a declaration from the world. It cannot be done. But Edison refused to let rejection define him. He redefined rejection as data, as feedback, as stepping stones. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And because he refused to bow to rejection, the world now lives in light. That is the first rule. Reframe rejection. When someone says no, do not hear it as impossible. Hear it as not yet. Do not hear it as you are unworthy. Hear it as you must become stronger. Rejection is never final unless you accept it as final. Look at Henry Ford. He went bankrupt 5 times before building the Ford Motor Company. 5 times he faced humiliation, doubt, and rejection from investors, from society, from reality itself. And yet, his vision of affordable automobiles never left his mind. He followed the rule that every no must be converted into fuel. The rejection did not weaken his resolve, it sharpened it. Today, Ford's name is synonymous with innovation and resilience, and so you must adopt this second rule, persistence in the face of doubt. Understand this, the world will not give you success until you prove that you can withstand its resistance. Rejection is resistance, and resistance builds strength. Each time you face rejection and keep moving forward, you grow stronger, sharper, more determined. But here's where most people fail. Take rejection personally. I think if I was rejected, it means I am not good enough. That is the lie. The truth is that rejection is rarely about you. It is about timing, about perspective, about readiness. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because his editor said he lacked imagination. Imagine that the man who built empires of imagination told he had none. If Disney had accepted that rejection as a verdict, the world would have no Disneyland, no animated classics, no empire of dreams. But Disney understood the third rule. Rejection is feedback, not identity. When you learn to separate rejection from your self-worth, you free yourself. You stop bleeding over every closed door. You stop doubting your value because of someone else's opinion. Rejection does not mean you are unworthy. It means you are being redirected. It means you are being prepared. It means you are being tested. And history shows us that those who pass this test become legends. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than he won before becoming one of the greatest presidents of all time. Oprah Winfrey was demoted early in her career because a producer said she was unfit for television. Steven Spielberg was rejected 3 times from film school. J.K. Rowling's manuscript for Harry Potter was turned down by 12 publishers. Rejection is not the end of the story, it is the introduction to greatness. So, what do you do with rejection? You rise, you adapt, you learn. You turn every no into the foundation of a bigger yes. And this is the 4th rule, resilience through adaptation. Do not merely hit the same wall over and over. Study it. Learn why the door closed. Ask yourself, must I grow? Must I refine? Must I prove? Rejection becomes wasted pain if you do not extract wisdom from it. When you take the lesson, rejection becomes transformation. This is the path of all great achievers. They take rejection and forge it into armor. They take doubt and forge it into vision. They take failure and forge it into victory. I say to you, stop fearing rejection. Start using it, because every rejection you face is proof that you are in motion. You are striving, that you are reaching beyond mediocrity. The man who faces no rejection is the man who never tried. The woman who avoids rejection is the woman who never dared. But you have dared, and that means you will face no's. It means you will be tested. But if you follow these rules, you will rise, because rejection is not the end. Rejection, when mastered, is the seed of every win you will ever claim. You must understand rejection is not a signal to retreat. It is a signal to evolve. Every no is an invitation to sharpen your mind, strengthen your will, and refine your craft. When you hear no, you should not walk away discouraged. You should lean in with curiosity and say, what must I become to turn this no into a yes? Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men in history, was turned away countless times in his youth. He was poor, uneducated, and working as a bobbin boy in a factory for pennies. No one saw potential in him, but Carnegie didn't accept those rejections as life sentences. He studied, he served, he observed successful men, and he learned when doors closed. He did not curse them, he asked himself, what knowledge must I gain to open them? By doing so, he turned rejection into a school, and the lessons he learned forged him into a titan of industry. This is the fifth rule: treat rejection as training. Just as a blacksmith hammers steel into a sword, rejection hammers you into strength. Without the hammering, steel is weak. Without rejection, remain untested, and no untested soul can carry greatness. But here lies the secret that most miss. Rejection is also a filter. It separates those who wish from those who will. It eliminates the faint-hearted, the half-committed, the weak. When you are rejected, you are standing at the same crossroads where thousands have stood before. Most quit, most surrender, most walk away saying, it wasn't meant for me. And that is why most people live lives of quiet desperation, never realizing their potential. But the few, the rare few, when rejected, double down, recommit, fight harder. And it is those few who rise above the masses. Look at Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder of KFC. At 65 years old, retired, broke, and rejected by more than 1,000 restaurants. He still carried his fried chicken recipe door to door. 1,000 times he was told no, but on the 1,001st attempt, he heard yes. And that single yes turned him into a global icon. Rejection is not final because it only takes one yes to change your life forever. So let me speak directly to your spirit. Rejection is not the end of you. Rejection is the birthplace of your comeback. Rejection is the raw material of your victory. The rule is simple. Keep going until no becomes yes. But how do you endure? How do you carry on when rejection stings, when it feels like the world is against you? You do it by anchoring yourself in purpose. Purpose is the fuel that burns longer than pain. Purpose is the reason Edison didn't quit, why Lincoln didn't quit, why Oprah didn't quit. When your vision is greater than your wounds, rejection cannot stop you. Purpose transforms rejection into redirection. You see, life often closes doors not to deny you, but to steer you. That opportunity you thought was essential, it was preparation for something greater. That rejection letter, it was redirection toward a bigger stage. That failed relationship, that denied promotion, that closed investment deal, all of it was training for the version of you who is still in the making. This is the sixth rule. Trust redirection. When you are rejected, do not collapse into despair. Step back and ask, what door is this rejection trying to point me toward? Sometimes the rejection is not punishment, it is protection. Sometimes the no is saving you for a bigger yes. But you will only see it if you refuse to quit. Napoleon Hill wrote that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Rejection is that seed. But a seed does nothing unless you plant it. You must take rejection, bury it in the soil of your persistence, water it with discipline, expose it to the light of your vision, and then wait for the harvest. The harvest will come, but only if you refuse to dig up the seed with doubt. And this leads us to the final rule. Transform rejection into resolve. Do not merely survive rejection. Use it as the very thing that cements your unbreakable will. Say to yourself, every no I face is proof that I'm still in the fight. Every no I face is sharpening me. Every no I face is taking me closer to the yes that will change everything. The greatest victories are always born from the harshest rejections. The Wright brothers were laughed at when they spoke of flying machines. People told them humans were not meant to fly. Yet because they persisted, humanity now travels the skies. Nelson Mandela was rejected by his government, thrown into prison for 27 years. Yet when he walked free, he became the leader who healed a divided nation. History is clear. Rejection is not the end. It is the forge. It is the fire. It is the pressure that makes the diamond. So now, the question is not whether you will face rejection, because you will. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you allow it to break you, or will you allow it to build you? Will you shrink in the face of rejection, or will you rise? Decide now. Decide that rejection will no longer define you, it will refine you. Decide that every no is a stepping stone. Decide that rejection is not the end of your story, but the spark of your victory. Because these rules are framing rejection, persistence, separating rejection from identity, adapting with resilience, treating rejection as training, trusting redirection, and transforming rejection into. Resolve these rules, turn rejection into wins. And if you live by them, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you from reaching the destiny you were born to claim. Rise, face rejection, think it, use it, and win.